is your responsibility.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Inner Life 101 video. Today we have Eligio Bishop, aka Nature Boy, aka Father Tahuti, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, and whoever else he tried to be, um, or who he has tried to be. Um, he don't understand that these people were who they are because they worked on them. If they existed there, they became that because they worked on it, not because they just decided, hey, I want to be good today, or I want to have what they have, but I don't want to change who I am. Okay. Anyways, in this video today, Eligio is talking about he's addressing this his lives today um to white people and he's basically scolding them for not donating to them. So we find out today that that's the I think that's I mean, we already knew black women were taking care of them basically, but we thought more white people were taking care of them, you know. But we find out today that oh no, they weren't. Um, anyways, you obviously have a dislike for some man that lives in Costa Rica as well, who is wealthy. And he seems to tell them that he's basically trying to say that he created this idea of going and live in the tropics. And therefore somebody has taken his idea and ran with it and took that knowledge from him and ran with it and is making lots of money or have lots of money and did not turn around and say thank you to him. So, anyways, also in this talk, he spoke about he basically straight up said he don't stink. Um, that's a big change from what we were talking about to now all of a sudden jump in and say you don't stink. But anyways, I made a video. Um, I, I guess my last within the last two videos or something. I don't know if it was the last one or last two videos or something. I ended up saying that I gave a question, I guess, to um, the public or to Nature Boy, that or to his followers, that if I, my question was that if okay, let me formulate it. If God is intelligence and all knowledge and great intelligence, the source of life, knows everything, then why would a God like that send someone to be a Messiah to people who, number one, don't trust very many people, and basically this is what the source did that let him for he wants us to believe that God has or this higher being has came into him and sent him to us, to a people, a broken people. And he's this higher being sends a broken person emotionally and mentally. He's been in a mental institution for years, not just on a hold because he flipped out or something, but because I mean, for years he has issues. He's been on medication and everything, and he also been a gay stripper. He's also, he brings that life with him to his teaching. He's been in the gangs and all kinds of things, and he still have the hatred and the anger, and he hates women, and he angry with women, and he's will beat women. He beats women. He'll beat children if you allow him. He's sexually abusing children, out of his own words, out of his own mouth, rather. Um, he's also, um, my question was that why would a god or a great source of major intelligence send someone who stink, put manure on top of them, they're covered with manure, they're, um, have all this negativity in them. Everything they say is repulsive, everything they do is repulsive. Why would a God, intelligence, send someone like that to be our Messiah and bring a message that we're supposed to hear to follow him? Why would a God do that? Why would a good God, a good intelligent being that gave us this sweet life? I mean, when I say sweet life, it's life. Life is sweet. Life, feel it. Feel it inside of you. It's sweet. And he wants us to believe, Eligio wants us to believe that the God of that life gave us this to follow. You see, an intelligent being would know that the people are not going to follow it. That's number one. Number two, the people cannot even stomach being in his presence. If that person is covered with manure, we wouldn't be able to do it. So why would an intelligent being do that? I don't believe an intelligent being would. Now let's hear what Eligio has to say.
in your spirituality to help African American people get out of their traumas. That your aim and your purpose is to help any African American people you can help. Not yourself. You went, you got all this knowledge, you got all this money inherited to you off the backs of us. I mean, there's a lapse of generations in your wealth. And as you see me struggle out here, trying to overcome the traumas of my ancestors in my blood and in my environment, for I'm a product of my environment, I'm probably one of the best men to come out of my environment, and I'm still struggling.
Excuse me. I had to stop this. That was just too funny. One of the best men that comes out of this. Remember, I just mentioned about the manure being all over the person, the woman beating, hating women, want to control people, uh, placing demands on people, skewing the knowledge, I mean, the information, so forth, know thyself. He's skewing it so that he can benefit from it and manipulate people to continue to follow him and give him what he wants. Um, Anyways, let's go on.
To you, off the backs of us. I mean, there's a lapse of generations in your wealth. And as you see me struggle out here, trying to overcome the traumas of my ancestors in my blood and in my environment, for I'm a product of my environment, I'm probably one of the best men to come out of my environment, and I'm still struggling with that traumas, with the generational curses. You watched all of us like crabs in a bucket. You watched us. And I'm not going to say there ain't no good white people out there that didn't reach out and was like, here's some. But there's a guy out there named, he calls his stuff permaculture in Costa Rica. He watched my knowledge and was awoken by it. And he won't even shout me out. He got acres and acres of land in Costa Rica. It won't even help no black people out. It's people like him and many others that I've helped.
Oh my God. What I find again?
And he won't even shout me out. He got acres and acres of land in Costa Rica. It won't even help no black people out. It's people like him and many others that I've helped in my knowledge. They took the knowledge from me online. You know who you are. And you didn't even say fucking thank you, yo.
And you know, a while back there was an issue with me where I pointed out the fact that he didn't say thank you to me either. Uh, when he went on Mediva um, live and said that he had, discovered, some of his issues that he had, his mommy issues. Of course, everybody was talking about his mommy issues, and they've been telling him he had mommy issues probably for years. But in my video, I pointed out the fact that, and which is something that most people do not know, which is that, and you only really know it by experiencing these people. And when I say these people, I mean people who were abandoned as a child by their mothers. It's different from a father. So, but being abandoned by mothers and growing up in foster homes and that kind of stuff, they tend to be, they try to create their own family. They come out regardless of what family they still have. They tend to be very angry, very destructive, self-destructive, and destructive other, to others. And no matter how much love has been shown them by their own blood relatives, they still tend to come out and want to build their own family. And that's what Eligio has done here. And that's why he's doing what he does, is try to create family. And he's saying it over and over again. You can see it every time he gets online when he's addressing, his family, and but yet he'll tear down other people's families, telling them, leave your children and come to me. Your children are attachments. Come to me in the tropics. And this is the only way. And see, the thing of the sad part about it is the women and the men don't see the fact that his idea is for people to be with him basically for the rest of his life and the rest of their life. There's no end in sight as to being with him, so, and that's because he just wants a big family around him, a family that he's never had. They don't realize they're getting in a trap. They're not going, like Umi says, she went down there thinking she's going to a spiritual retreat. But this spiritual retreat is really Eligio home, him creating a family and creating his home, and um, he just wants everybody to be a part of that. And if you leave him, he feels that you abandon him. So, anyways, let's go.
Yes, my knowledge is the top knowledge on this earth plane. You can't get the knowledge because you can't embody it.
People, that's not true. Don't let anybody ever tell you you cannot get this knowledge. If you seek the truth, you will find the knowledge. As simple as that. And the knowledge basically should be know thyself. Well, all that other stuff he's talking about, astrology and whatever. Astrology is a direct conflict of the know thyself knowledge. Okay, know thyself. That word knowledge is ridiculous, but because everybody knows something, so to say somebody don't have knowledge is ridiculous. But to know thyself and then to go and read a book about yourself is really a contradiction, where because the know thyself teaching is about going inside of yourself, going into your inner life and learning about yourself, learning the truth about yourself. And once you do that, you get closer to your source. You clear up the negativities and you get closer to that which is good, that which we call God, that which we call source. So it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And I would have to say that I would use that word when addressing him and anyone else who says that you cannot uh, get this information on your own without him. Without him.
The knowledge that you're seeking comes through the black man and woman. Because we are not learning the knowledge, we are learning ourselves.
And it's not true that it comes through the black man and the black woman because this information has been on this planet, on this earth for hundreds of years. It was mostly held and I'm talking about knowledge of thyself. Was held in secret societies. Even the Jewish does a version of it. They call it Kabbalah, but you don't want to go to that because they teaches you basically like Eligio, stay in your negativity. Even though you're supposed to study your negativity, you have to rise above it. And in that other teaching, they don't teach to rise above it. And Eligio doesn't teach to rise above it either because he teaches them to stay in their lower self and he's their higher self, which is horrible. It's a horrible teaching. So um, he's just really lost when it comes down to that. Let's hear more from him.
Because we are the knowledge. You see this blackness in my eyes, in my skin, this darkness in my skin? Well, that is the universe. And we have been kept.
And I would have also have to say that when I was first introduced to this teaching by a white man, it was not by it wasn't a rich white man or anything. It was by a white man, an average, everyday white man. So, um, no, he's wrong because he wants you to believe that he's the Messiah, and somehow this grand and this magnificent teaching has come through all of this negativity and this manure and everything. This intelligent being and source has given him and him only this knowledge to somehow deliver the black man and black woman.
Understanding who we are while you're studying us. Your ancestors. Not you. You're not a bad person, right? Or are you? Or do you play like you're a good person? You act like you're a good person and you're a light worker, but you don't give a fuck about black people. And it's your ancestors, your white ass, that has systematically held us back. And I'm not pointing fingers, I'm pointing facts. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm pointing facts. The black man has been demonized. Let me tell you something about me. I'm gonna be straight honest, real with you. I never stink. Never. I'm not even a stinky nigga, bro. Like I never. I'm a smooth, clean ass dude. Like I never stink. And that's just honest.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, it didn't hit me like that the first time I heard it, but just going through this video trying to make it get it right so I can. It's hard with Instagram. You can't just pinpoint the place you want to go. But come on, he don't stink. He's smooth and everything, right? His skin is peeling off of him, and he don't stink. But they got kicked off of the plane in what's that, Belize or Costa Rica or something like that. They got kicked off. See, he don't remember that kind of stuff when he says things like this. That's just crazy. And we're human beings. Human beings stink. Okay, we do, especially if we're not taking a bath or a shower, um, but only once a week. Yeah, we gonna stink. We got some must or something. You see, he went towards his arm and everything. He don't stink, man. Come on, you just need to wake up. See, this right here tells you mentally that he's ill. It's I hate to say that. It bothers me each and every time because I don't like to point at people because I teach people to heal mentally. And I don't want to put labels on it because you're not crazy or something like that. You just challenge. Everybody has challenges. But here, I have to put a label on it so that you can see what it is. This is sickness here. This is sickness. Anytime a person don't know if they stink, that they literally say their stuff don't stink. That's basically what he's saying. You don't stink. Um, Either something's wrong with your nose or something's wrong with your head. One of the two.
But it was easy for people to believe that I stunk in the papers. Why? Because I'm black. And black means dirty, foul.
No, no, don't blame it on black. Black people are sharp people. Black people dress well. Black people, they if they know nothing else about black people, they had to overcome that stereotype. They had to get rid of that thing that black people stink. They had to get rid of that because black people have evolved to a sharpness that they've never seen before, when it comes down to dressing. Okay? He's just trying to debunk their criticisms of him.
So when you see me, it's easy for you to look at me and think dirt, dirty. So it was easy for people to believe that. But the truth is, I never stink. Honestly, I just never stink. I always wondered why. I was like, yo, even when I used to smoke cigarettes or smoke a black and mild, the smoke never stuck to me. Like I'm not a stinky dude. But the point of my
The smoke never stuck to him. He is so angelic or something and filled with the Holy Spirit, or the aura of the Holy Spirit is all on him, that he does not even, the smoke does not even get into his clothes. The smoke doesn't get into his hair. That tar and nicotine does not get on his face and on his hands and everything. He's just, this right here should tell everyone that this is not anyone's Messiah. He's taken information, like he said earlier in the thing, that somebody else took his video. He said earlier in the video, somebody took his information offline and started using it and didn't even say thank you. That's what he did. He took other people, and it's okay. Sometimes, that's where we all get the information from. He has too. He wants people to believe that somehow this stuff just came into his mind one day and he woke up and start spreading it. No. He's read and studied this stuff just like everybody else has. But the problem that he has is that he hasn't truly worked on himself. I mean, what, he's 37 years old and he don't know he had mommy issues? He didn't know that. until a couple of months ago. He was talking about how Eliana talked to him about him having mommy issues or something, which wasn't true. She didn't say that. I mean, he was just putting words out there, and she never agreed that that's what she said. He was giving her credit for it, um, but the whole idea is that all these years and you don't know, and you're a messiah, and you are someone who has touched on one of the most amazing teachings you could ever, and that you're probably gonna ever find, is know thyself. Okay, you talking deliverance with the truth setting someone free. You learn eradication. You learn to do that, and you will be free. This man is not free. He's not free for some reason. And I know the reason. The reason is he's not doing the work. It takes a long time, and it takes a lot to go through your life, basically. You're going through your life from the beginning. From the beginning, you're going through your life to find out what's going on with you, which means he did not go to the beginning. And where did his life begin? Was with being abandoned by his mother. And he didn't even know it at 37, 38 years old. He didn't even know it.
Um, Saying this is, I look at the articles and they put cult leader. I'm not a cult leader. I'm a truth speaker. I stand on divine truth. And if you just listen to what I'm saying, it's truth, bro.
And of course, no, you have some truth. You don't have all truth. And you cannot be divine if you are manipulating and sliding and lying here and there. And, no, you're not. Divine truth. You haven't embodied truth. Truth is not something you can just throw away whenever you want to, and just to appease you because you want to keep the dollars coming in. That's not divine truth.
Well, black people followed after the white people after the Kayla girl, and they did what we do, yo. We broken. I don't blame black people for attacking me,
Yes, he did.
denaming me, tearing me down,
Yes, he did.
being super, super negative because we have our traumas. And crabs in the bucket, gonna pull it, gonna pull each other down trying to get to the top. I'm mad at the motherfucker that put us in the buckets. I'm mad at because crabs don't belong in the bucket, like Jay-Z said. How do crabs get in the bucket? You put us there. You destroyed every species on this planet. You're destroying the forest right now as we speak.
And real quick, I want to throw, because I know he mentions a little bit more about not stinking. So um, I want to, I'm going to end it after he says that. But talking about crabs in a bucket, Fundi Fee mentions that. And this is something I notice about him, that he always speaks about nature, comparing us to nature. And a lot of us do that. But he does it, that's his basis, okay? Because he believes in nature so much. That's his basis. But number one, I don't think the man even liked dogs. I don't think he even liked cats. I don't think, who does he like in nature, really? He's so hateful. They had a bird over there. I never seen him even pick the bird up. I've seen other people touching and, loving on the bird. Never seen him do it. He's the guru. He's the guru. That's almost like a politician kissing babies. The guru should be there loving on the animals. And you're in nature too. You're supposed to be in nature. You're supposed to show them how close you are to nature. Show people how close you are. And you can't even touch the bird. Come on. Anyways, let's oh, and what the nature thing is that Fundi Fee had, oh, she's talking about the crabs in the bucket. crabs in a bucket. She was saying that she's tired of hearing people say that because uh, they every time they say that, it reminds her that they don't even know what that means. They've never even watched crabs in a bucket. They only, repeating what other people have said, and in reality, she's saying that being a little girl, her going crabbing with her mother, she has actually watched crabs in a bucket when they were putting the crabs in a bucket, and she has actually watched crabs get out of the bucket. So the people that is saying that crabs in a bucket tend to pull each other down and keep the crabs in the bucket. She said in reality, in her experience, she has seen that the crabs actually get out of the bucket because they clam on each other. They basically claw onto each other to where when they're obviously, I mean, at some point, I guess, creating a chain that they end up pulling themselves out of the bucket. So, which is why the bucket had to be watched. She had to watch the bucket as a little girl, So, anyways, so he's always says, look to nature, but it's obvious he never looked to nature. He had a thing online where he put up. Uh, I guess his whole thing was. I guess his talk was about separating from other people, and he was saying that, do you see do you ever see in nature, he said in nature you never see, and it was in a writing, in nature you never see um, butterflies hanging out with caterpillars. I can barely pronounce that. And I had just seen where Fundi Fee has a little habitat there for butterflies, and they're in a little habitat where they can cocoon and where they become butterflies, and then they end up. She releases them. So my thing, that was the first time I ever seen that. So I had to respond, yes, you do. Have you ever watched caterpillars and butterflies? I did the video on a real short video on it. That yes, they do hang out. Okay, they have to hang out. They're the same species. They are each other. They're family. What are you talking about? They go through their life cycle in the way they do. So, yes, they have to hang out together. Come on. Come on. So and this man from the street don't know nothing about it, and he's talking on it. He's speaking on it. So they let you know something's wrong with his knowledge. Somebody said when I commented on it, somebody said, "Oh, it's a bad analogy." But he always does this. He always talks about stuff that he don't know about. Simple as that. Let's go on.
You killed billions of animals, raped and pillaged and did everything that you wanted upon the earth. And I'm not, and yeah, you might say to yourself, well, I didn't do that. No, but your ancestors did. Your ancestors did. You think you're gonna move to the tropics, set your shit up, you and your little family, and everything gonna be straight, huh? And you don't got no karma to pay. So you don't owe nothing to humanity. You should be targeting your knowledge toward the black community. You should be, whatever you have, you should be giving 10% to somebody like Carbonation. You should be trying to help Carbonation get land. You should be setting up something for black people. Any black people that are willing to overcome their traumas and debilitations.
Okay, everyone. I'm gonna cut this video short because I don't know where he mentions again about not stinking. But I also remember him saying that land was not something he wasn't here to own anything, that he didn't want to own anything, that he wasn't here to own anything, and that's why he's in the situation now. We all saw him on live with a man who offered to help him buy land. And he wasn't talking about helping them buy land. He was going to put the money up to buy land. Told him to go out and find something for $50,000 in the tropics, and that he was gonna help. But he had to go find it. Simple as that. The man can't go out and find it for you. You're the one in the tropics. The man wasn't there, and he basically almost cursed the man out. He cursed the man out. So that's why he don't have land today. And now he's talking about white people need to do that for him. Uh, if this don't show you that something that's going on mentally with this man, that he has a whole lot more work to do on his quote debilitations, which is not a debilitation. People don't have debilitations like that. We're not set up like everybody has a. We all came off of a conveyor belt, an assembly line, and the creator said, "You have this debilitation, you have debilitation, you have debilitation." Everybody got debilitations. No, we have, I mean, when I say debilitation, I mean generational curses. This is what the other word that he used. The generational curses are not generational curses. You are not experiencing what your ancestors experienced when they were here 4,000 years ago. I mean, 400 years ago. Yes, you are suffering from being descended from that, okay, because that hasn't been cleared up. Okay, it's just we just been going on for 400 years without fully addressing that. But and every action and every behavior that comes that is not positive basically comes from that. Okay, but we have what is really happening. And when he say curses, he means like having single mothers, black single mothers and unwed mothers and that kind of stuff, and not having marriage and that kind of stuff in the community. Um, that is not a generational curse. That is us having the same thought patterns. We're thinking the same way. We're passing down those thought forms to each other generationally, and we have belief in those ideas, and we keep them going, and that is why they don't stop. And there's not a curse. A curse is something that you know. I mean, who cursed you? Who cursed you? Did they have some kind of warlock or something come down and make a witch's brew and curse a whole nation of people? No, they took you into slavery and created a system around it, but secretly put in, kept the idea going. They basically kept the idea going that these people were going to be the bottom. Simple as that. So we're going to always keep them from doing this, because if we didn't do that, then they would be, who knows what they would do if they truly became free. So, and then of course, I don't know what their end game was or what ideas other people had, but um, it's not a generational curse. That is something that they gave them too. He's only regurgitating what was told to him, which is this. I'm going to close this out, but This Bible thing is what he is talking about when he speaks about this curses, you know. So they gave us this Bible. They've obviously tampered with the truths that was in this Bible, and they created this boogeyman that can curse you, okay? And you will be cursed for what? For what reason? If you're a slave and you studied good and you tried to be good, you didn't go around killing people in a mass way and all of these things, and your mentality is not about killing people and harming people generally, um, generally as a people, you're not. How can you be cursed? Why would there be a curse put on you, on good people? Why? That goes back to that all intelligence, all good, all giving, all knowledgeable. Why would a knowledgeable God, an intelligent God, uh, put a curse on people, on a whole nation of people, so that they can go through the same thing over and over and over and over again? Their children go through it. No, that's an evil thing. That's not a good thing. So, anyways, everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your being here. Do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video, okay? Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Thanks to my new subscribers. And peace and blessings.